In this tutorial, we're going to go over the long solo, the second solo in Sweet Home Alabama, and it's got a lot of really cool riffs for us to get our fingers on. You can watch the whole thing in the demonstration of the lead only or the full jam along video. I'm going to play section by section. I'll demonstrate a nice long section here, nice and slow. Then we'll learn it note for note, and then we'll go to the next section. Okay, so here's the first section we're going to learn from the top of the solo. 2, 3, 4. Whammy. Then we go. All right, let's learn just that much. We're starting in open position, open D string to 2, open G, back to D string, open, and then go on the second fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you slowly start bending that second fret up, right? And as you do it, you want to do these little thumb pinches. If you can, it doesn't have to be that drastic, but all I'm doing there is I'm kind of leaning in with my pick to where it's just hitting, the string hits my pick and then just glances off my thumb and gives us that sound. All right, and then we come back down to 2, open, then D string second fret, and then 2 on the G string. Then you do a little whammy bar. I'm not going to do the whammy for this tutorial because it's just started happening where I hit the whammy bar and my guitar goes way out of tune. So rather than retuning 10 times in the solo, I'm just going to tell you that's where you hit the whammy bar. And then we do this for the next riff. All right, so now we're kind of in position 3 of G major pentatonic, and we do 7 of G to 9, 8 of B, back to G string, 8, and then a bend and a half. So we're here, we need to bend it all the way up to this pitch. And then we go back, reset it, and we do a full bend. Then 8 over to the G string 9, one more time back and forth, and 7th fret of G, 3 more. Then over to the D string 9, roll it back to G, 9 and 7. And then we have kind of what I'd call the Crux riff. Okay, so we're gonna do this one all by itself. Looks like this. All right, then we do the. All right, so let's get this thing. It's all tabbed out there, right beneath the video player. It's 6-string country, electric solo 2, electric 2, solo 2. And it's a lot easier than it looks, but you gotta, it's a metronomer, okay? So we kind of do a quick slide up from 12 to 14 to start on the D string. And then 12 of G, 14 of D again, and then G again. And now here's where the patterns start. All right, you just got to get that feel going. Okay, so we're doing 14 of G, pull off to 12. Then you got to go back to the 14th of D, back to the G string. And then with your pinky, reach up to the 17th fret. And same thing. Again. And then it goes down to the 16th fret. 2 times. And then we do another 4 up on the 17th. And now we go back to the 14th fret of G for 2, then 3 more on the 17th. And then we go down one more time to that 14th fret of D, then we start the next riff. So one more time on that. So we just got done. And we do the riff. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we do this riff next. Okay, so starting on from the, what we're doing there is 12 to 14 on A, then 12 of G, back down to D, 14, and then with that same finger slide up, 12, 14, and then G, 12 of G, back to D, 12, 14, then B string 12, 14 of G, 12 of B, 15, 12 of high E, 15 to B, and then 12, hammer on to 15, then you're just hanging out there. Right, just hang out on that note until we get here. That's the 13th fret of E coming next, to the tiny bend, then 12, 15 of B, back to 12, and then we start these bends, and we're going to count 4 bends on the 15th fret of B, and it's going to match, bending up to match the pitch of the 12th fret of high E. 2, 3, 4, then we go 14th fret of G, and then one more on the 15th fret of B, and then we do this to come back down. I'm going to start on this 15th fret just to get my bearings here of the high E string. One, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. Then we do this. Okay, so we just kind of walk it right down there. 12, 15, 12, 15 of G, 12 of B again, 15, 14, 12, 14, 12, then a quick slide, 14, 12 on A to 10, 12 of A to 12 of low E. And then we do this. This is the next big section, all right? Here it is. All right, so we have 10th fret going up to 12. Then over to 12 of low E. 2 on the 10th fret of A, then 12 of A, roll over to 12 of E, 10, 12, 14, 14, roll down to 14, 12, then immediately reset with your middle finger here, up to 14, back and forth again, 14 of G, 14 of D, 12, 14, 16, 15, 15 of B, 16 of G, 15, 16, 14, 16, 15 of B, 17, 15 of high E, and then we're up to these bends on the 17th fret, full bends. 17, 15, 17, 15 of high E again, 17 of B, 15, and then we get a little break. So let's play just that much nice and fluid here. 2, 3, 4. Then to end it, we have this. All right, so we start on the 12th fret of B, 15 of G, 12, 15, 14, 12, 14, roll it over to D, 14, and then 12. All right, next up, we have the little riff, because the rest of the band right there starts playing. So that's our next riff. So we start on the 12th fret of D. So that's 12th fret of G, 14 of G. Back down, pull it off to 12. Then 14 of G, 10 to 11. Then roll it across 12 of D, 12 of A. And then one more, 12 down to 10 of the A string. And that's that riff. And then we have the harmonics. Okay, all that is 7th fret harmonic on the D string, where your pointer finger is just touching the string, but the string's not touching the fret. You have to get it right above the 7th fret. And then 12 of B, back to 7th fret of D, and then 5th fret of G. And then a little whammy right there. And that gets you through that whole second solo. So rewind it, loop it. You can slow it down. You can isolate tracks on the jam along and the lead only videos, so you can just hear this guitar part, or you can hear everything but this guitar part and jam along with it, even when it's slowed down. So you got all sorts of resources here. You got the tabs right beneath the video player. Start it, if you're having trouble with a riff, start it slow, 60 beats per minute, 65 beats per minute. Memorize it, at least the part you're having trouble with, and work it up to tempo. Ideally, you want to be able to memorize this whole thing so you're not looking at tabs or something else, and you can actually musically play this thing along with the jam along video or the lead only when you're ready.